Welcome back to Alert View.
This is the story of Jon Wedger, a name you might not know, but a man who spent a lifetime policing London's streets. He wasn't some rookie. He was a decorated Metropolitan Police detective, a man who saw the worst of humanity. And what he's just exposed is a level of depravity that will shock you to your core. Wedger alleges that while working in the borough of Haringey, he didn't just stumble upon a single crime. He uncovered what appears to be a systematic institutional failure, a sprawling operation targeting the most vulnerable of all, children in care homes. He claims to have identified at least 52 victims of sex gangs targeting these children. But here's the most damning detail. When he tried to act, when he tried to save these kids, he claims his own superiors told him to stand down. Not only that, he alleges he was threatened, told that if he continued, he would lose his home, his job, and even his children. Because apparently, protecting the reputation of the Metropolitan Police was more important than protecting the lives of the innocent. Wedger is not a conspiracy theorist. He has presented detailed evidence, including police notebooks and reports from the time. This isn't a rumor. These are documented allegations that point to a long-running industrial-scale scandal that spanned multiple boroughs, from Haringey and Tower Hamlets to Westminster and Croydon. The sheer scale is staggering, and it's something that London's political leadership, led by Mayor Sadiq Khan, is now being forced to confront.
Thank you. This whole situation is just beyond belief. When you hear the word grooming gangs, you often think of places like Rotherham or Rochdale. But to hear these allegations about London, the heart of our country, is truly devastating. And the claim that this has been going on for 2 decades under successive administrations suggests a level of institutional failure that is frankly unforgivable.
It does, John, and the most unsettling part is the specificity of Wedger's claims. This isn't just a vague accusation. He mentions specific numbers, 52 victims. He mentions specific locations, upmarket Mayfair restaurants and hotels in central London. And the method of operation he describes, children being sold for crack cocaine, then resold for thousands of pounds, it paints a picture of a calculated, organized network. This wasn't some opportunistic crime ring. This was a well-oiled, highly profitable, and utterly sickening business.
And what does it say about London's leadership? We've seen Mayor Khan talk a lot about his vision for a safe and inclusive city, but now he's faced with allegations that industrial-scale child abuse was happening literally under his nose. His response, or the lack of it, is even more concerning. His spokesperson dismissed it as false, malicious, and politically motivated. But as you said, if it's so false, why not just answer the questions? Why spend months dodging inquiries on this very subject?
It's the classic crisis management playbook. Deny, deflect, and discredit the accuser. But it's not working here. Wedger isn't some disgruntled employee. He's a former detective with documentation. This isn't a political argument. It's a matter of fact and evidence. And when you call it politically motivated, you're essentially saying the truth doesn't matter, only the politics. That's a dangerous game to play when we're talking about the safety of children.
Exactly. Public trust is a fragile thing. And if the public believes that the police would rather protect their own reputation than the lives of vulnerable children, that trust will be completely shattered. This isn't just a London issue either. This is a national conversation. We've seen calls for a nationwide inquiry into grooming gangs, but how can we as a nation have that conversation when London, the capital city, is being accused of presiding over an operation that dwarfs all others?
The geography of it is what gets me. Wedger mentions multiple boroughs. This isn't one bad apple. This points to a systemic breakdown across the entire city. And the connection to upmarket locations like Mayfair suggests that this isn't just a crime of the underworld. It allegedly involves a level of society that we rarely associate with this kind of depravity. The fact that these victims were allegedly taken to high-end restaurants for trade adds a particularly grim and shocking layer to this entire affair.
And the fact that it involves builders in central London, as Wedger claims, shows how pervasive this alleged exploitation was. It wasn't just hidden in the shadows, it was allegedly happening in plain sight with ordinary working people involved. This suggests a normalization of abuse that is truly terrifying. It forces us to ask tough questions about the moral fabric of our society. The police, the local councils, and the mayor's office all have a responsibility here, and based on what Wedger is alleging, they have all failed in their duty.
And the response from Haringey Council claiming they haven't been made aware of these historic allegations is simply incredible. Wedger explicitly states he presented his findings to council representatives. So either they're not being truthful or their internal communication is so poor they lost a report about industrial-scale child abuse. Neither option is remotely acceptable.
It shows a lack of accountability at every level of government. And the victims, we can't forget them. These are children whose lives were allegedly destroyed, and some are now adults who have had to live for decades knowing the system failed them. The fact that this has been allowed to go on for so long is a moral tragedy.
And the political consequences for Khan are enormous. He's built his entire reputation on being a champion for the vulnerable. If these allegations are even partially true, that reputation is in tatters. The pressure for him to resign is only going to grow as more details emerge.
Exactly. Avoidance won't work anymore. The public wants answers. They want a full, transparent investigation, not political excuses.
This story is just beginning. The allegations from Jon Wedger are a ticking time bomb for London's political establishment. The time for denial is over. The time for a national conversation and a full and independent inquiry is now. We want to hear from you. Do you think London's authorities have a moral duty to launch a full investigation? Or is it, as Sadiq Khan's team claims, a politically motivated smear? What would you do if you were in charge? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And to make sure you're always one of the first to hear the truth, make sure you subscribe to AlertView and hit that notification bell. We'll be watching.